Hey everyone, I'm Valerie from MotoPress. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad to see you here. October's wrapped and you know what that means. It's time for our October 2025 WordPress News Digest. I've got the top picks you shouldn't miss. If you build, design, or publish in WordPress, you're going to want to hear this. We'll talk about Gutenberg updates, WordPress 6.9 beta, security scans for plugins, community events, and AI features in WordPress plugins. So without further delay, let's get into it. In October, we had two key Gutenberg plugin releases, 21.8 and 21.9. Both updates improved the editing experience and added new blocks. Gutenberg 21.8 introduced the first block visibility control. You can now open the three-dot menu on any block and choose to show or hide it on the front end. This helps preparing content in advance or testing layouts. It's great for seasonal banners, limited time offers, testing alternate layouts, or pre-building future content. And it feels natural inside the block tools, one of those quiet features that immediately becomes part of your workflow and you cannot imagine your life without it. In the following version, this feature is extended to sync patterns and template parts. So now you can also hide entire site sections when needed. This update also improved block comments. Messages are clearer when a referenced block is missing, related blocks are highlighted, and comment threads are easier to follow. Overall, the interface feels cleaner and the underlying code is more efficient too. Time to read and accordion received refinements. 2. The time to read block now supports range and word count controls and includes migration support for older versions. The accordion block has improved structure and now has clearer naming and better accessibility. Next, Gutenberg 21.9 introduced several new blocks and continued polishing the editor. Latex formulas can now be added directly in the editor using the new math block. This is helpful for education websites, scientific publishers, engineering content, and academic blogs. The new native block will let you display clean, professional formulas in posts, lessons, or course content. On top of that, you can avoid extra plugins that might cause conflicts with your site. The new native Breadcrumbs block will become very handy in sites with nested pages. You can choose whether to show the home link, and you can pick the separator, like a splash or arrow. And for now, it works only with hierarchical post types, meaning mostly pages. Support for other content types will come later. 2 lightweight additions, the term count and term name blocks used with the new term query block. Term name simply outputs the name of a testimony term, like travel or tutorials or whatever. Term count displays how many posts belong to that term. So together, they help to build custom category or custom tag listings inside block themes. The accordion block gained anchor support and it's confirmed as ready for WordPress 6.9. Version 21.9 also brought direct drag and drop inside the editor canvas. Blocks now move visually as you drag them instead of showing just a drag chip. Finally, the update introduced data views customization persistence, and when you adjust columns, filters, or sorting in patterns, templates, or page views, those settings now remain saved until you choose to reset them. Together, these updates improve everyday content editing, add useful blocks, and continue preparing the editor for WordPress 6.9. So touching on WordPress 6.9, it was October when we saw WordPress 6.9 Beta 2. Now it's available for download and testing, and it's the second public version of the upcoming major WordPress release. And it's scheduled for December 2nd, 2025. It includes more than 33 editor updates and fixes, and at least 28 core tickets have been addressed since Beta 1. Being a beta version, it's not recommended for production sites. Instead, it's meant for testing and feedback. And if you work with themes, plugins, or custom blocks, now it's time to test. Install Beta 2 on a staging site, try your usual setup, look for issues in patterns, templates, and block styling, and report anything that feels off. The focus here is on polishing the experience before launch, so early testing helps make the final release cleaner and safer for everyone. Alright, let's talk about a pretty big update from the WordPress plugin team. And if you build plugins, this is important to know. So, starting October 27th, all plugin updates on WordPress.org are now getting automatic security scans. The plugin check tool now runs not only on new plugin submissions, but also on every plugin update. The system runs automated checks for security, compatibility, and compliance issues. For now, scan results are visible only to the plugins team during the evaluation phase. And once testing is complete, plugin authors will receive email reports immediately after updating their plugins. Matt Mullenweg called the rollout a massive upgrade for the security of the web. And well, that kind of says it all. A quick rewind. Plugin Check launched back in late 2024 to catch issues in new plugins before human review. It cut down reviewer workload and helped authors fix problems upfront. And since plugin submissions have more than doubled lately, this automation layer feels honestly very timely. There are also early calls for some transparency, like showing badges or positive security streaks on plugin pages, and it could help users trust plugins even more. There is even some talk about maybe someday blocking updates with serious security problems. That's not happening yet, but the idea is out there. Now, a quick look at community highlights. October also brought Blocktober, an informal challenge where creators build one block per day using Automatic's Telex tool. 31 fresh blocks, back to back. The project was all about showing what WordPress' new Interactivity API can do. Each day, a new block was shared on the website blocktober.fun. Everything from a bar chart to a Polaroid image block, even a fun trick-or-treat block. And honestly, it feels like Tammy Lister's daily challenge became part of a bigger wave of Telex-powered creativity. It really showed how AI can make building in WordPress feel fresh and playful. With Telex, anyone can create custom Gutenberg blocks using natural language prompts. Okay, now let's talk about new plugins in the WordPress repository. One of them is called Throwable, and it's made by the same developer behind block layouts. And it brings physics-style motions right into the block editor. You can drop in elements like buttons, text, or images, change gravity and bounce settings, and get playful motion effects on the front end. So yes, it's not your typical utility plugin, but it's a creative experiment that can push the limits of interactivity in blocks. And over in Canada, WordCamp Canada 2025 wrapped up in Ottawa. It was the second edition of the event. This year's venue was Richcraft Hall at Carleton University. A really beautiful spot, by the way, and pretty symbolic since Carleton runs tons of WordPress sites across its campus network, so WordPress really felt at home there. The event opened with Contributor Day, where attendees worked across core areas like accessibility, documentation, translations, and so on. And one small highlight worth noting, a new WP CLI flag for deleting all comments is close to being merged. As for sessions, the program covered a wide mix of topics, and from the blog development and DevOps to accessibility, SEO, and business strategy, AI was unsurprisingly a recurrent theme. And the schedule also included keynote talks and a community town hall with a WordPress co-founder. Networking was a huge part of the experience, of course. And looking ahead, the next WordCamp Canada is expected to take place in a new city, likely on the West Coast. And organizers are already encouraging volunteers to get involved through WordCamp Canada site and the WordPress Canada Slack. Alright, let's talk about All-in-One SEO, one of the most popular SEO plugins in WordPress. The team just pushed a big AI update, and you can now open their AI assistant right inside WordPress. Type what you're working on, maybe a blog intro, a product description, or a summary, whatever, and it generates the content for you. You can switch the tone, pick the audience, make the text longer or shorter, or even translate it on the spot. There is also an AI image generator. You can type your idea, choose your style and size, and your image is ready in seconds. And they're thinking ahead for search too. The update includes support for the new LLMS.text standard, basically a way to tell AI platforms which parts of your site they can use to learn from. And with AI search becoming a bigger thing every month, I think that's a pretty smart innovation. Next up, we have an update from WPForms. They've rolled out a new camera field. It lets users take photos or record short videos right inside your form. And you can use it for things like photo ID verification, contest entries, client onboarding, or even video testimonials. And since privacy matters, you can limit access to logged in users or even add a password to view submissions. And a quick WooCommerce update, version 10.3 landed at the end of October. It brings some practical upgrades like address autocomplete for checkout blocks, smoother product collection editing, and finally, native cost of goods sold tracking, huge for accurate profit reporting. Then we saw a few quick patch releases, and by October 31st, 10.3.4 dropped with performance changes and a better PayPal experience. And as for MotoPress news, the WordPress booking calendar plugin 1.3 went live earlier in October, and this update brings on-site payments, a new booking confirmation mode that lets admins approve bookings first, and custom labels for time slots. Alright, that's the latest. Which development surprised you most? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss next month's Roundup. Thanks for staying with me, and see you in November.